Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
Hey fam, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started today, make sure you subscribe and smash that bell so you never miss an episode. Okay, today we're going to talk a little bit about something I like to call exercise snacks. Wait a minute, you have a question?
Yeah, I do, thank you. I was wondering, when you say snacks, could this be any kind of a snack, like a potato chip, or even ice cream, or a soda?
Okay, moving on. So, when I talk about exercise snacks, I'm really talking about little bite-sized things you could eat. Yes, what is it?
Sorry to interrupt. You were really getting going there. But when you say bite-sized, now is that something you can fit in your mouth just in one bite, or can it be multiple bites?
You know what, fam? I don't find this funny. I bring this content to you to enlighten you and make your lives a little bit better. You know what? I give up. Let's just go consume your content elsewhere.
Oh no. Please come back. We want to hear what you have to say. Did I say something wrong?
Oh my God, so creepy. You know what? It's fun. I like to do that. I like to make it go as creepy as possible because, you know what? I just get a kick out of it, and hopefully you get a kick out of it too. You've heard people like that, all the content creators that are just really in your face and telling you what you have to do. Even if it's something that has, some merit or worth, sometimes it's just in your face and you kind of lose the content based on the over-the-top enthusiasm. So I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to bring it way down, everybody. No, I'm going to bring it down a little bit, and we are going to talk about exercise snacks. Well, not exercise snacks, but we are going to be talking about snacking of some nature. Not of the food variety, but there are these things going around nowadays with biohackers and other podcasters and content creators about doing little exercise snacks throughout the day. And I wanted to take that because I like the concept of it, and I wanted to expand that a little bit today with our art and our creativity and all the little things that we do across the work week and, even throughout the day, with all the little things we have to do, whether it's administrative, whether it's social media, whether it's creating, whether it's getting exercise, whether it's eating healthy, whether it's meditation. You can really get a lot of these things done through little snacks. If you situate your day a bit like that, it's much easier to handle because sometimes I get overwhelmed. I have this huge workload and I'm like, oh man, the tendency is for me just to sit down and just grind through it. Like if I have to do some jurying, or if I have to, do a podcast, or if I have to do my social media or my artwork for the day that I'm putting up, a lot of times I'll just grind that out for like 3-4 hours straight. But sometimes that can be overwhelming. Sometimes we don't have the energy. Sometimes we got a lot of other stuff on our plate. Sometimes we're just trying to figure out how to accomplish a lot of these things and how to stack up some wins. And I really think you can do it by breaking it down. It's kind of like, if you're like an alcoholic, bear with me here. If you're an alcoholic and you go to AA, it's one of those things where they break it down day by day. You take it a day at a time. You take it a step at a time. Because if you try to think of, I'm going to go the rest of my life without a drink, and you've been used to drinking and it's part of your entire fabric of your life and your being and your ego and your identity and your story, it's really hard to think of yourself not drinking for the rest of your life. But if you break it down and go, you know what, I'm not going to drink for the next hour. Okay, then I'm not going to drink for the hour after that. Then you just string a few hours together, and all of a sudden you got a day. Oh, I can do a day. You know what, I did a day yesterday, I can do another day today. Then you string those days together, you got a week, and you got a month, and so on and so forth. You get the idea here. But I'm going to take this and apply it to anything that you're really struggling with in your art. maybe it's a big project that you have to do. Maybe you're trying to get going on social media, or maybe you just have a big backlog of work that you want to put up online, and you have these art marketplaces that you're a part of. Like maybe you've submitted to some art marketplaces that I've recommended on here, and now maybe you've been accepted by a couple of them, or one of them even, or maybe a few, who knows? And all of a sudden you're facing the daunting task of putting your hundreds of pieces up online. And you just go, okay, well, I'm just going to take the month of August and I'm just going to pound them out. No. Why don't you just take a breath, step back and go, I'm going to take this in bite-sized bits. First, I'm going to put up my bio and, some pictures of me, and I'm going to really put some effort and some presence into that. And that way, everything you're putting up, rather than just rushing through it and getting as much stuff as you can out there, and maybe making some mistakes, or maybe having it kind of smack of doing something in a hurry, because I think people can see all that stuff. They can see that in effort. They can see it on social media. They can see it on your online, marketplace content, even on your YouTube content, or if you have a podcast. If you're rushing stuff, if you're just like trying to get it out as fast as possible, I think that really reads to the audience. So not only for yourself to make it more manageable, break it down, but break it down into little bite-sized bits that you can do and you can put a lot of presence and conscious effort into. And I think that will stack up over time. I think a lot of people want to just get stuff out and they're like, oh, well, I got to get all this out. Well, that's a fallacy, because not only do you not want to get it out and just put it all out there because you're going to be rushed and it's going to stress you out and it's maybe going to stress the people out and it's going to get lost in the pile, but you're also just not getting in there with the consistency that I'm talking about, whether that's the consistency of eyeballs seeing your stuff spread out among weeks, months, years, or the consistency of the algorithm understanding, oh, look, it's a great piece that's put up today. And maybe you're doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Oh, this artist, I can count on them putting their stuff up Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And each piece you put up is done with quality, and it's done with time and presence of mind. And you can see that in the work. You can see it in the descriptions. You can see it in the pictures that are put there. You can see it in just the quality of the piece itself. That really reads. And if you can stack those up, those little snacks, not just exercise snacks, but if you can stack up those little snacks over time, that really will amount to a very powerful body of work. And it'll amount to a very powerful and almost unstoppable algorithm too. Something that's tuned into what you're doing and it streamlines it. So that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because I think people just have this tendency to want to bulk things, whether that's, like I'm saying, putting your stuff up online, on social media. I'm going to just put up, 10 new pieces, or I'm going to put up 100 pieces this week on Saatchi or on Artfinder or whatever art marketplace you're doing. I think that is the tendency, because you just want things to be out, off your brain, and out into the world. But I think if you can just take a little bit of an AA approach or a little bit of a mindful approach and start to just piece these out, like, okay, today I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to create a schedule where I do these little bite-sized bits, and I'm going to string those together, and that's going to end up being way more powerful than if I just vomit up a bunch of content in a day or a week or even a month. So I think you understand, you get the point that I'm trying to make there. But also, this can be great for starting new habits. Let's say you're trying to get in shape, you're trying to get a little healthy with your diet, you're trying to add some different, like maybe you're making a really good power smoothie in your eating routine or whatever, or you're trying to just add some more protein. You're getting like more protein centric. You're trying to build some muscle. That might seem like a daunting task to be like, well, how do I do this? I got to change my shopping habits. I'm not going to know everything stocked in my kitchen. It's going to be overwhelming for me to try to fit this into my day. Well, okay. Calm down, chill out a little bit. Just start trying to do a little bit at a time. Just, add a little extra thing in on each meal. Or if you're trying to get some more steps in, instead of going like, I'm going to walk 5 miles every day, okay, why don't you just say, every half an hour, I'm going to set a timer on my phone. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do 10 air squats, which, by the way, it's really good for sequestering glucose and managing your glucose, even better than taking like a half an hour walk. But that's beside the point. Let's say you just do 10 air squats, or then you get up and say, I'm going to walk around the house, or I'm going to walk around the neighborhood for, one time around the block. Or, hey, I'm going to do some lunges, or I'm going to do some jumping jacks every 30 minutes, or I'm just going to stand up and walk in place for 2 minutes, okay? You get the point here. whatever works for you. If you set an alarm every half an hour to do that, and it only takes you like a minute or 2 minutes each time you do that, not only are you going to get some blood and some oxygen going, it's probably going to enhance your mood, it's going to enhance your energy for whatever you're doing that day, but every half hour, that's going to stack up. And by the end of the day, you're going to be like, oh my God, I got like 8,000, 10,000 steps or whatever without even trying at my house. I didn't have to go for this like 5-mile hike to do it. I just got it in with these little exercise snacks. Maybe it's some pull-ups you want to do. If you got a pull-up bar, or, you want to use something around the house to do some dips or to do some weighted push-ups or lunges or anything you want to do to get healthy or to build muscle or to just get fit. You can just put in these little snacks, these little exercise snacks, and it really adds up to something powerful. Not only just within the day, but within the week. You'll see over time, it really stacks up to be something that is much more than if you tried to just hammer it in. Like every day, I gotta set aside 2 hours, and I gotta get out there, and I gotta hike 5 miles. So you get the idea there too. You can really apply this to anything. And I'm probably going to stop it there because I don't want to be too redundant. But think about this. Think about this idea of breaking things down into little bite-sized bits, or just doing things on a smaller scale with more conscious effort and more presence of mind. And just think about how when you do that over time, it can even just be a week, but over a month, over the years, I've noticed that in my career. I've done that the bite-sized bits thing where I've parsed things out over time, and it's really stacked up to something very powerful in my career. And it's really propelled me forward as far as getting some momentum with sales, getting some momentum with collectors, and just getting eyeballs on my work, and also just making me feel productive and like I'm doing good stuff, and not getting overwhelmed in the process, because we can get overwhelmed nowadays. There's so many things that people are telling us to do, and it's just kind of refreshing to be able to go, okay, take a breath, and we're going to just do one little thing at a time here. We're going to check these things off one at a time. We're going to take our time, and we're going to do it with presence. And we know that if we do that each day, little bits of things that we have to do and check those off our list, those are going to add up to something really powerful. So what else can you apply this to in your life? That's kind of your homework for today. I'm not really giving homework in this podcast, but if you were to have homework, or if you just wanted to have something to think about and take into the studio with you and have on your mind, what else could you apply this to that could change your routine and could change your life a little bit? Instead of giving yourself something really heavy and daunting and time-consuming that you're probably not going to get to, and you're going to procrastinate off to the point where you never do it. Whereas if you break it down and do it bit by bit, piece by piece, what could you accomplish? And what different areas of your life could you accomplish new things? So I think that's pretty exciting. Yes, it takes time. All these things take time, but that's what we're trying to do. I've emphasized this many times on the podcast, and it's so true. We are playing the long game as artists. We are not going, it's not a sprint. We're not going to sprint and get to the finish line and, we made it, and now it's over, because that's boring anyway. You want to be playing the long game. You want to be stacking up little wins that turn into big wins, and then you want to be pivoting and refocusing and doing different things and then stacking those up and creating wins. You get the idea. You'll look back over a long career at some point and go, wow, look at all this shit that I did. Look at all this shit. No, look at all these things that I accomplished. And you will be very proud. And I guarantee you it will amount to a lot more than you think it will by breaking it down into bite-sized bits. So that's the podcast for today, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're being productive out there. Hope that your creativity is hopping. Hopefully you're in the pocket. You're in the zone with your creativity. Look forward to seeing some new work from everybody out there. And yeah, thanks for listening as always. We will see you on the next episode.
You know what? That YouTube guru was right. I broke all my snacking down into bits, and instead of being able to eat 3 candy bars at once, I ate 10 candy bars over the course of a day. That's a lot more candy. Thanks, content creating guru.
And that's why I stopped reading all the comments in the comment section. Catch you later, fam.
This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support.
This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.